Good morning, Mike and Arlen, our Philippine journey. Hey, you know what? In the Philippines, there are different budgets for different people, and that doesn't make anybody better or worse. It doesn't give them any better privileges, and it doesn't give them any less. I think for a moment, we should talk about an elephant in the room that seems to crop up quite often is the animosity that we certainly see sometimes between different budgets and different people. So let's talk about it.
I never got it, why'd you have to go? I guess this world's too slow for you. I think there's beauty in the gray, the cold, but you just want the gold. And there's no way I can beat it, cause I got no chance, no chance when it comes to her. She got the glitter and the fame, and I just wasn't enough.
Now, look, let me preface this real quickly by saying that people are different, okay? And it doesn't matter whether you're an American, whether you're an Australian, whether you're a New Zealander, whether you're from British from the UK or Welsh or Irish or whatever. People are pretty much equal when it comes right down to it. And when I say equal, I mean they all have wants and desires, and they all have things that they realize and recognize that they live within. And these are important. You know, there are a couple of different trains of thought here. You get one set of people who say you should live so frugally and you should be very cautious with your money. And I totally agree with part of that. I totally agree that you should be very cautious with your money. I also agree partially with the frugality part. You must live within a reasonable budget. Don't be a dumbass and spend more money than you have. That's just crazy. In addition to that, you've got people who have retired here and it's based solely upon what they have available. And there is nothing wrong with that. You can live here. We've seen people live here on $1,000 US a month. Okay? They're happy. They're happy with their existence. But we've also seen different variations of that. There are people who come here and live on far more than $1,000 a month. And they're happy. And they don't rub it in anybody's nose other than the fact that this is where I live, this is what I do. That's not, they're telling you about their life. They're not rubbing it in your nose. Look, people plan in advance. Some people started planning many years ago. Some people started planning 5 years ago. Some people started planning 10 years ago or prior to when they got here or when they're coming. And that's great. And when you reach the goal that you're accepting of, then it's time. Now, what happens when one set of individuals pretty much preach a whole different direction? That's great. You know what? Their opinions are valuable. Whether you agree with their opinions, that may be a different story, but their opinions are valuable. And we tell you all the time, watch everybody's channel because you can learn something. There's always something you can learn from everybody. Now, we also tell you, trust but verify, or listen but verify. Don't trust, listen, and then verify. You know what? If you can live and are happy, I don't say if you can, because everybody can, but if you're happy living a certain way, and it's not the same way other people live, well, good for you. But for you to preach that everybody should live a certain way, I'm not quite so sure about that. Should you give advice that people should be cautious about their money? Without a doubt. Okay? Are there people that aren't cautious with their money that you're trying to let them know in a gentle and humorous way that you should be concerned about it? Absolutely. That's what YouTube about. It's a communication tool. All right? But to give people a ration of crap because they live differently than you do or than you think they should, that's really, I don't know. I don't think that that's really a very applicable thing. There are a lot of people out there that live on a 2, 3, 4, 5, I don't know. I don't know how big it gets, $1,000 a month budget. I have no clue. All right. There are people that live in budgets that far exceed what we live in. That's for sure. And we don't give them a hard time about it. And certainly hope that for their future and well-being that they're cautious and that they've planned to do so. But to think that you need to come here and live a certain way doesn't dictate that you can tell people that that's how they should live. Should you give advice? Absolutely. As again, we've said, if you can make somebody's life reasonable, if you can give advice that helps people, that's not a problem. Can you condemn people that don't take your advice? No, I don't think so. And you can call them all the names that you want, and you can call them stupid or whatever, but that's the way they are. It doesn't make it wrong. You know, let me give you a couple examples real quick. We know people that live on a specific life budget. In other words, they know exactly how much money they have. They know exactly how much they're going to live on. Their intent is to live here for 7 to 10 years and then go back to their home country to take advantage of the social safety net of health care or family or whatever at that period of time. And so during this time that they're here, their expenses are not set up to spend here forever. We know people that have come here forever. Their expenses are set up, hopefully, the way it should be. There are people that were very fortunate in their life. They were either worked really hard and successful, or very lucky and successful, or whatever. Maybe they just hit the lottery or had rich parents. Can't condemn them for that. You can't give them a hard time for that. So what? Let them live the life that they like to live. Now, that doesn't mean abusing people. That doesn't mean abusing the system. That doesn't mean getting involved in illegal and nefarious situations. But what it does mean is that they have a life to live just like you do. And to give them a hard time on that, I don't think that that's really the greatest thing in the world. At this point in my life, or in Arlene's life, in our life, we do the things that we want to do. Our net worth is actually higher now than it was when we came to the Philippines. And there are a lot of people like that. We don't spend every penny we have. We're on a budget, and a certain amount of budget goes into the bank all right, in the U.S., and it also goes into the bank here in the Philippines. Now, this isn't a video about how to take care of your future, how to take care of your partner, all right? Those things, we're going to make the assumption that you're doing the right thing. If you're not, shame on you. But the point that I'm making is that it's all about a person's individual rights, individual likes, and individual abilities. And then you couple that with their individual needs. There's always going to be people who have more than you do. And you can't be upset just because they have more. You can't say they don't deserve it. And you can't say they're doing the wrong things when you don't know what their individual finances are. When you don't have a clue, you can make all the assumptions you want, but we all know how faulty that is. People live their lives based hopefully upon good information, and that's what we should be intent on delivering to you. Valid information. It is simply, hey, create a sustainable budget. That means that your finances are sustainable. Live within that budget. How you live is up to you. There are some people that will never have a full-time partner. I pity them, to be honest with you. I rather enjoy being married to my wife. Before we moved to the Philippines, I enjoyed it, and I still enjoy it. All I'm saying is that when you watch these videos that are out there, look at them and see what you think about them. And consider where your budget is going to be. And then get off your ass, come to the Philippines and take a look. Experience for yourself. Give yourself a month or two and see, is this for me? In the meantime, don't blame those other people. All right? Living in the middle of the province sometimes is going to be far less expensive than living in BGC or IT Park in Cebu or on Mactan Island, for instance. And then it all has to do with what you're going to do and how you're going to do it. Don't get upset because somebody else has something that you don't have. Don't do that. Don't think that they're foolish because they do. In the meantime, look at what you have and then figure out how to make it work. You're an adult. You can figure that out. You shouldn't need your hand held by somebody telling you how much you can spend on dinner tonight. Hey, if you found this informative, that's great. Have a great day. Please do subscribe, and please have a just awesome day. Bye.